Oh my god. So hi and welcome back to my channel. I look like trash because it's quarantine. Make me, suckers. So in like fall of last year, I got really tired of dyeing my hair platinum blonde. And I went to a hairdresser here. They didn't do what I wanted. There was a whole story. I was really annoyed, and then went to another one and they kind of fixed it. But really at the end of the day, I paid a lot of money to then have to fly back home to Michigan, which I was going anyway, but I go back home to Michigan, have my wonderful and amazing and intelligent, beautiful hairdresser fix my hair. She did exactly what I wanted, and now it's been like 3 months and I'm bored. I hate myself more than any of you ever will. A couple days ago, I had a hair appointment booked, and what I was going to have happen, because my natural hair, it grows in a dirty blonde color that if I actually go outside, it gets really golden and looks more like this. And you can see from my childhood photos when I was not wearing my hair up, whereas in high school, I started literally just laying out in the sun with it like this to make sure that the under part also turned gold. So this all happens naturally, but here's the thing, I don't go outside. Literally, look how tan I was. Look at how tan I can't even. I'm trying to age beautifully. Oh, that popped my back. But obviously I can't and won't be going to a hairdresser right now. So should I be patient and just wait because literally no one is seeing me anyways? Yes. Am I gonna do that? No. I've bought so much hair dye. There's so many dyeing videos coming, and by that I mean 2. This one, and also I got this lavender stuff. Ooh, we're gonna use this once this whole head is blonde. So that's coming. Make sure you're subscribed for more of this. Like basically, long story short, I wasn't completely sober and it was late, and by late I mean it was like 9 p.m. because that's late for me. So I was on the internet and actually I was looking at Sun-In, which is quite the throwback. I was looking into that and it does a lot of damage to your hair and it's probably not something I should be using. So instead, I came across Madison Reed, which I personally never heard of. This is, to my understanding anyway, is basically just supposed to be nicer than box dye. It's supposed to be like salon quality hair color, but it's all done for you and you can put it together. And honestly, like if I could read the ingredients and tell you if this was good or not, I would, but But what you get whenever you purchase any of their hair care products is a radiant cream color, which I'm assuming is just kind of like the dye basically, along with a cap, which is convenient. Same thing with some gloves, which is like a very necessary thing and hard to come by in this time. And a conditioning color activator, which again would be the activation to your dye, I am assuming. A barrier cream, oh fancy, along with a cleansing wipe, also fancy, and a sample of their color protecting shampoo and their color protecting conditioner. Right off the bat, this is fancier than like a box dye. I used to dye my hair out of a box for many years. I did end up switching from box dyes to actually just going into Sally's and purchasing hair dye and bleach from there, and was doing it which I felt like was better for my hair. And is that something I could have done this time? Probably, but like, why? I don't want these. Okay, you're now going on this side because I need this stuff over here. Oh my god, the instructions are stuck on my foot. Never mind! So I glanced at the instructions and honestly they're the same as any box dye you would get, except probably a little bit nicer and a little bit fancier, but it is wasted on myself. I personally like to dye on second day hair that has been brushed out so that there are no tangles or knots or issues. Next. I do like to take these little clips. These I got from TJ Maxx. Also, I did see that they have them available at Madison Reed, so if you are ordering this hair product, it might be worth just like tossing them in your cart because I feel like they are pretty reasonably priced. Usually what they say is to divide your hair in 4 sections, which often results with people parting their hair in the middle. Now, if you normally part your hair in the middle, then I would definitely do that. I very rarely part my hair in the middle and actually find that I'm parting my hair on the side a lot more often. But from here, I like to go ahead and section these always off. And the reason why I personally prefer to keep it parted on this side is because I know it's not a major time difference because I, again, don't have very much hair and I usually find that I can work pretty quickly, but I find that if I am putting the hair dye initially like on where my part is, this is going to get the most time other than obviously the bottom pieces with the dye on it, which is something that I personally think looks a little bit better as an end result because at the end of the day on natural hair, where your hair is parted is often where it's lighter anyway because again, that's where you're seeing the most sun. So once again, I am open to being completely wrong here, but this is just something that I prefer to do and find works out better for me. But other than that, this is pretty standard of just separating everything out into 4 sections and clipping away 3 of them and leaving one part out that I am going to work with. Next up, you would want to mix your hair dye. So I used to, for literally years and years and years and years, have always had a bowl and various brushes and extra gloves and all the tools one would need to dye their hair. But right before we went into quarantine, I gave away all of that stuff because I was like, I'm not gonna be dyeing my hair anymore. I have my hair appointment, I'm letting it grow out, and I was very wrong. So I did get rid of everything, and now it's impossible because everyone's dyeing their hair at home to find a bowl and brushes online that don't take 100 years to ship. I'm just gonna straight up use this bottle and my 2 hands to apply this onto my head. But if you were using a bowl, which again is probably a little bit more recommended, especially if you are new to dyeing, is you would want to take, I am assuming, your cream color and also your activator and mix it into a bowl. So the color that I got also, just so you, if you are interested, this is in Tourmaline Blonde. This is their 9AV. What is that? Why are you so fuzzy? And I'm just not questioning things at this point. And if my head falls off, my head falls off. Yes, my head, not just my hair. Anyway, so I'm gonna put this into here. You can like roll down this tube to make sure that you actually are getting all of the product out. And I'm gonna do this on the table. But once you have these combined, you're just now going to want to shake it if you're using the bottle. And again, if you were using this in a bowl, you would just want to give it a good mix. If you are dyeing hair at home and you do not have like a fancy little barrier cream, you also could just use straight up like petroleum jelly. And you just want to place this all over your forehead and around your hairline and pray to the gods that this doesn't break you out. Also can, if you tend to get dye everywhere, put this, I would recommend, on like the very base of your neck and around and even like behind the ears and stuff, like if you're just very free willy with the whole thing. So I feel like this has been properly mixed, so I feel like the last step is to now just apply this to my head. So a quick tip, if you are dyeing your hair on yourself, to me at least the ideal situation for this is to obviously have gloves on. Also, to remove your bathroom rug so you don't stain it. Thirdly, always be wearing a crappy t-shirt that you don't care if you stain. And finally, have 2 mirrors facing each other. To my left, I have my giant bathroom mirror, and to my right, when I open this up, I have a mirror hanging on the back of this door. And I have had my bathroom set up like this in every apartment that I have ever lived in because this is convenient, because what you can do, especially if it is on the back of a door, if you don't have a mirror like that, you also could get one like this. Ideally, if this was a little bit bigger, that would be better, but you can place something like this in front of you. But basically, if you angle this slightly to either your left or your right, you can see the back of your head and you can see, wow, this is not straight at all, whatever. But you can actually see the back of your head so that when you are applying color, you are applying it to the correct places. So the color that I got is supposed to be kind of just like a golden light blonde. And I don't know if I actually said this, but what I was going to have them do in the salon is basically just give me highlights to do what the sun naturally would do for my hair, but I don't have to sit around in the sun all day. I'm sure if I had more faith in myself, I could try and accomplish that with this color, but I don't. So what I am going to be doing is just applying this all over where my natural hair growth has come in, and then I'm going to drag this down a little bit farther and not being super intentional about like hitting certain spots, but trying to just blend this into this lighter color down here. But I am going to try and just leave my ends alone. How I've been doing this is I just add color onto the roots and then drag everything down until I get to my previously dyed section. So this might be shorter for you, this might be longer. longer for you, but this is just generally how I do it. If you were using a brush, you would obviously just want to go ahead and brush this on, and then sometimes I do decide, even if I have a brush or not, if I kind of want to run my fingers through the ends just to again make sure everything is in there. But when I'm working with the bottom part of my hair, after I've put the dye on the area that I want to cover, I like to lift the hair up. So the hair that has been dyed, I take that section and I move it up and make sure that the other side of the hair is equally covered. This side does not obviously require nearly as much dye. Sometimes I don't even really need anything at all, but when I flip it like this, I just like to make sure that it's really coated before I move on to the next layer below it. But once both of the bottom layers are done, I now obviously am going to move on to the top. And this time again, adding color to the top layer of hair, but I am making sure to not forget about this back section, as that is very easy to do. So make sure you get the back part that connects to the lower part of the hair, if that makes sense, and then flipping this onto the opposite side. Then I also just do the same thing as before, make sure that this side and all of the back portions are covered. Finally, I do like to take a moment to just go through and like kind of cover up the front pieces, the sides, maybe the nape of your neck, because these are areas that tend to have a lot of baby hairs and are very easy to miss. So I just like to go through and make sure all of these are covered, so especially you don't have like one not dyed hair right in front of your face. By this point, my whole head is covered, so I like to just give everything a good once over and pull all this up and clip it out of my face, pop the cap on, and let my hair sit for the designated amount of time. Something to note here, if this took you forever to put on your head, what I would consider doing is, in addition to potentially starting at the top of your hair and then working to the bottom instead of from the bottom to the top, is I would also just set the timer a little bit less so that you can check on your hair and see. This is also just kind of like best practice, is to do it a little bit less than the max amount of time, just to again check on how things are processing, on how things are looking. But especially like if you know it probably took you a little bit too long to actually get everything on your head, likely you might want to have this on your head a little bit less than what it actually says. But again, this is something that is completely personal and depends on lots of different kinds of factors, so. But just something to note here is I feel like if you kind of err on the side of caution, then at least you can keep an eye on it and you can just peel back a little bit and check on it. Maybe wash out the tiniest piece from the back of your head and see what things look like versus waiting too long and then, woo! I also would like to point out how much I used. So like I said, I have very thin, very fine hair. There's not a ton, you saw it. So I didn't end up using the whole bottle. So if you have really long hair, but it is on the thinner side, you'll probably be okay. If you have like slightly, medium length hair, but it's thicker, you're still probably, I don't know, I would say you might be okay. But if you have really thick hair, I don't know, you might want to order two. If you're doing your whole head, if you have really thick, really long hair, I don't know, I would order two. And during your waiting time, you definitely could do something relaxing, maybe something soothing, or just spend this time ripping the hair out of your legs. Bam, I'm a person. This is what my hair turned out looking like. I will show you what it looks like in natural light, because I think that'll be a little bit more realistic of a view. Overall, I would say my hair, which I realized like I only did the roots, so it's not my entire head, but at least with where my roots are, I still feel like they feel pretty soft. I mean, like, I know obviously damage was done. Look at me. There's no way I'm not. But I'm just saying that, compared to box dye, this does feel significantly nicer. One thing I will note is I did not bleach my head, so I did just dye it a couple shades lighter really. So I'm just saying, if you are dyeing your hair and you have to bleach it beforehand, I would just like temper your expectations, because I cannot attest to that. And yes, I am just continuing to stare at my roots in the mirror behind me. In the future is I just bought a purple conditioner, and I think I'm just gonna have to go back to incorporating that in just to cut out some of the brassy tones that are in here. But overall, like, again, I wouldn't say that actually like, oh, this is too brassy of a color, or there's anything wrong with it. I just think that in comparison with how cool and like bleached this part is, I think if I just cooled this down a little bit, it would just be like, I did order some of that, but I think what I'm gonna do in the meantime is just dye my hair immediately again. But as for the actual product, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll honestly keep doing this. I am gonna see, obviously, what it's like once I do put the shampoo in, only because I might wanna end up selecting a different color from what they offer. But I don't know, I mean, for 20 bucks, I'm pretty satisfied. So overall, if you are considering purchasing from them, I would say if it is between a box dye and purchasing from them online, I would definitely just pay the extra like $13. So again, overall, like, I don't know, I think that like everything blended pretty well. I think the color came out evenly. It was really easy to understand what I was supposed to do. It was easy to apply. Again, my hair feels nice, so that's pretty good. So yeah, I would just say if you are going to purchase from them, I definitely would recommend doing a test strip. So I don't personally feel like this color matches exactly what they had online, but I don't think that that is really anyone's fault. Like, that is, again, I think just setting realistic expectations, and I knew this going in, which is why I think doing a test strand is very important, because everybody's hair is going to be really different, and it just might be that mine pulls a little bit more gold naturally than it does cool, which is why I think I am just going to combat it a little bit with a shampoo. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm wearing this crappy shirt because I'm about to go dye my hair now, so that'll be the next video. See y'all soon. Be sure to subscribe for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask below and I will try to get to them, and stop staring at myself in the mirror behind you. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this was helpful. Go deep condition your hair because we all need it. Wash your hands and have a nice day. Bye. Thank you for watching.